Hello and welcome to Blue Moon Bay Speedway Infield A for the host of the FVR GT7 Championship for season number 5. That is right. We're in America to kickstart this season. My name's Nathan, your commentator for this race, to bring you the action from the States to see how these 15 drivers tackled this infield course. Let's go through how the drivers lined up for this 44-lap race, this 2.0 mile circuit that consists of 10 turns, 8 to the left and only 2 to the right. So, without further ado, from the back of the pack, starting in 15th place, is Thijs in the Mercedes. He didn't set a lap time in qualifying and therefore starts at the back. Just in front of him is the first Jaguar we've seen on the grid, and that's Shea Easton, starts 14th ahead of Kian in 13th. 7/10 off pole position, but down in 12th place is James Kidwell in the BCR Mercedes. Reigning Constructors World Champion Evan Dalton opting for the Subaru this time out. Just missing out into the top 10, but into the top 10 is Tim in the Porsche, behind Kino in the Nissan. It's the second Jag of Adam Hans in 8th place. He was only 3/10 off pole position behind Xavier Maynard in 7th place. It's Piero who starts in 6th place behind Ruben in 5th. He's opted for the Citroen this season, the first time we've seen that car on an FVR grid. It's the Porsche of Cameron Hill the Supra in 4th place of Cameron Hill behind Adib Khan in 3rd. The front row of the grid is the runner-up, Maurizio Veltois in 2nd, and myself on pole position in the BMW on pole position. A 1:07.0 was the fastest time to put me there. And there is your grid of 15 cars for this race at Blue Moon Bay, the Infield A version. So we do take a little bit of a shortcut through turn 1 and then turn 2, the infield section of this 2-mile circuit. We've got 15 drivers and 44 laps ahead of us for the first round of the season. It's 5 red lights and we go underway at Blue Moon Bay for the first race of the season. It's an incredible start from Ruben in the Citroen. The 2 Jags getting off well off the line as well, but it's Nathan Marriott in the BMW that leads the field down in towards the first corner for the first time this season, followed closely by Ruben in the Citroen. Khan and Veltois are going side by side through exiting the banking from turn 1 in towards turn 2. We now head into the infield. The McLaren running a little bit wide. Hill on the outside of Khan. Maynard's going to try and follow him through. There's a little bit of contact in the midfield. I think that's Kino getting checked up on the inside. Evan Dalton having a bit of a slide as well. And that's a poor start for Kidwell down into 14th place. But an incredible start from Weiss up into the top 10. He's now into 9th place. The Dutchman making up places on the opening lap. Down in towards the final sector. He's going to launch one down the inside of Shea Easton. But on the exit of turn 8, he's dropped it. Weiss is round on the exit of turn 8, and after an incredible start, we've got another spinner. That's Cameron Hill off as he rejoins the oval circuit. He's now dropped down into 14th place. A poor start for those two, but it's going to be Nathan Marriott who starts the first lap of the race in the lead. Starting from pole position, Ruben from 5th place up into 2nd. Maynard making up place as well. Adam Hans with an incredible start in the Jaguar. He started 8th place. He's now up into 4th. And in the background as well, we've got Kidwell looking for a move on Tim after a slow start to this race. But lap 2 of 44 now is a good opportunity to tell you guys about the new tyre rules that we have for this season. Drivers must use all 3 dry compound tyres. That includes the softs, the mediums and the hards. They can use them at any stage they want in the race for as long as they want. And we've got all 3 tyre compounds on display at the start of this race. We've got the top 4 starting on the mediums, and then we've got the train of Adib Khan, Xavier Maynard and Piero on the hards. Actually, Piero's on the medium, so we'll probably be looking to try and get past these guys as soon as possible. Kino also on the medium compound tyres, but Shea Easton, who started 14th place, up into 9th. So both Jags gaining a net 9 places in this race between the two cars. It's an incredible start for them after a great debut season last time out. Last time they were both in the Mercedes. They've swapped German manufacturing for British. We're on board with our race leader, who runs a little bit wide onto the grass through turn 4, but I think we'd expect to see several drivers opting for a slightly wider line as opposed to keeping it safe on the inside, so I don't think much grass will be left at that part of the circuit by the end of the race. Our race leaders are now finding their way onto the banking through the final corner, turn 10. This track really does strain out the front right tyre with so many left corners. Only 2 of them go to the right, remember. It's the fastest lap of the race for Maurizio Veldhuis, 107.9, 3/10 quicker than our race leader. The top 3 so closely together. And with our reigning champion Tyler Davison absent for tonight's race, really does promote a great opportunity for several of these drivers to start a title charge. Piero getting the move, staying ahead of Kino, but this battle for 4th place, this battle for 5th place, consisting of these 4 cars, really heating up a bit with different drivers on different tyres. Khan having to go defensive to the inside. Kino's going to send one down the inside. There's contact. Khan's off the track. He doesn't get any damage, but Kino pulls over to the inside, slows down, waits for Khan to catch back up and goes past. Evan Dalton's going to capitalise as well and go down the inside, and whilst challenging for 5th, he's dropped down to 10th, and Dalton will have a look now on the back of Khan whilst the McLaren gets rid of those dirty tyres. Down the start-finish straight. Evan Dalton with a beautiful slipstream, a beautiful slingshot, through the final corner, makes a little bit of contact with the McLaren, but here comes Kino, looking for a move on the inside. They're 3 abreast, down the start-finish straight. Kino on the inside, Khan on the outside. Who's going to be last on the brakes? It's Kino down the inside and up into 8th place. Khan's going to try and hold it round the outside on those hard compound tyres. Will he have the grip to do so? This would be a brilliant move if he can pull it off. Kino breaks earlier, Khan swoops round the outside, and that's a beautiful move back up into 8th place, and can now try and make moves back up to the front of the field. Maurizio Veldhuis has gotten past Ruben and all of that and up into 2nd place. He's back where he started, the top 2 where they qualified. And going purple through sector 2, the runner-up from season 4 will be looking to try and get a move done on our race leader. Six laps into this race, we're starting to see the wear of the medium compound tyres. The cameraman at turn 4 is a little bit lazy. He's interested in looking at one of the tyre barriers. But now that we have found a competent cameraman, down it towards the hairpin of turn 6, we can rewatch our race leaders circling their way through this 2-mile circuit. Blue Moon Bay, it's Speedway Infield Day. It's the first time we've been to this circuit in FVR in GT3 cars. We, of course, had our little summer series and the Mazda MX-5s. I believe that race was won, or one of the races I think was won by Tyler Davison. And the other, Ernesto Gobardi, if my memory is correct, I didn't feature on the podium in either of them. That's all I know. 1:07.8 for Maurizio Veldhuis on the last lap, a new fastest lap of the race. He is hunting down our race leader, looking to try and get his way past. Let's have a look through the back of the pack. We've got all our medium runners now into the top 6. Shea Easton is our leader on the hards. He's followed by Adib Khan, Kino on the mediums, and James Kidwell making up places on those hard tyres as well. 1:09.1 for the Brit. So he's only just over a second off the pace of our race leaders. With the usual second tyre delta between the soft, medium and the hard each. Those are some pretty competitive lap times on a high tank of fuel. We're on board though with Ritzer Veltois. He finished runner-up in the Season 4 Championship. He's currently second place here in Blue Moon. He's about to start lap 8 in second place. He doesn't want to finish this lap in second place. He's going to look to the outside of Marriott going in towards the first corner. He's late on the brakes, round the outside, drifting his way through and into the lead of the race. A brilliant move from the Dutchman, completely sideways at the apex of turn 1, but he swoops round the outside up into the lead of the race, demotes Marriott down into second. One of our cameramen has unfortunately died at turn 4, but we rejoin the action with Veltois in the lead of the race. And these two have just begun to pull a little bit of a gap to Ruben in third place, who's just out of the 1 second slipstream range. We have a car in the pit. That is for Weiss. He's off of the hards onto the softs. Khan is also pitted onto the mediums, so he's done 2 of the 3 mandatory tyres. He's got the softs left to run, but with 8 laps into this race, I think that could be a 3-stop. Only taking the hards 7 laps, it could be an indication for our race leaders and everyone else not on the hards to say, look, if you are going for a 3-stop, you don't want to be on the hards more than 7 laps. 2 sets of mediums and a softs is more than capable of doing that. Our top 2 though, still separated by less than a second. Veltois is beginning to pull away from the BMW behind him. But don't forget, the trait of that Toyota Supra is pretty quick in a straight line, and Marriott might struggle to keep up with it. There aren't too many high-speed corners there where the BMW can work its magic. Of course, it'll be pretty good through the first sector, but down this start-finish straight, you can see the speed difference between the 2 cars. The Supra about 2 miles an hour quicker at this stage of the straight. Behind them, the Jaguar F-Type also pretty handy in straight line speed performance, but I think throughout the season we will expect this car, especially. We've got a car round at turn 1. It's Ruben lighting up the rears. He's lost the position to Adam Hans. He's dropped the rear through the first corner. He only drops 1 position, stays ahead of his teammate Piero for now. But the Citroen looking a little bit unsteady through the first corner, and it's brought this pack back up to the Spaniard now in 4th place. But we've got so many different car manufacturers on this grid for the season. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers performing at different tracks. That's Piero getting past Ruben. That might have been an orchestrated move. The Porsche having slightly better tyre wear at this stage of the Grand Prix, 10 laps into the race. Lap 14 is the expected pit window for the medium compound tyre runners at this stage of the race. Anyone starting on hards going for a 2-stop, we think lap 20 will be the lap where they will be into the pits for either the medium or the soft. But the great thing about these new tyre rules is strategy is completely thrown up in the air. We've already seen one driver pit early from the hards, seen drivers pitting from the softs, onto the mediums. Piero runs a little bit wide. That opens the door for his teammate to have a look round the outside through turn 4. A little bit of a check-up from him gives Xavier Maynard an opportunity in the Lexus to maybe have a look under the bridge. Ruben defends that position, but the Brit is going to keep on the back of the Citroen. French manufacturer behind the French driver, but it's the Brit in 6th place on those wearing medium tyres. Look at the tyre difference between the Citroen and the Lexus. The RCF really going through its front tyres. It is a front heavy car like the BMW M6. Cars like the Audi and the Lamborghini are much more even in their tyre wear. They tend to wear through the rears quicker, but at most circuits it tends to be an even tyre wear distribution. Let's have a look and let's check up on our race leaders. Fairly even in tyre life actually between the BMW and the Toyota Supra. The pace from Ritzer Velthuis is just slightly quicker over the last few laps than Nathan Marriott in the lead of the race. Adam Hans as well in third place. He's not setting particularly slow lap times either after he started down in 8th place, so it's been a great start to the race from the Brit. The Jaguar really excelling at this type of circuit. His teammate Shea Easton down in 7th place, but remember started in 14th place, so he's made up 7 places at the start of this race. It's a great start for the team. He's got Kino on the mediums behind him, who I thought started on the softs actually. You know, it might have been Tim who started on the softs. He's actually gone on to the mediums 2 laps ago, so he's fulfilled 2 of the quickest tyre compounds here tonight. He's just got to use the hards. This would be, for this season, it would be useful to have a tyre graphic to show everyone the different tyres that drivers have used. It could get quite tricky keeping track of what tyre compounds everyone's used. So far, the top 6 have only used the medium tyres. Some drivers behind them have pitted from the mediums, softs and the hards, gone on to different tyre compounds. Some of them have yet to pit either from the hards. So we've got more strategies than I can count. And who would have thought at such a simple circuit like an infield road course that we'd have such a diverse strategy. Just wait till we get to the more technical circuits like Barcelona, Alsace. Later on in the season. But we're now on lap 14 of 44. The pit window from the mediums is when we should expect drivers to come into the pits. We do have someone coming into the pits. It's Xavier Maynard and I think that's Kino in the background coming in off the medium tyres. They've only taken them 13 laps and Maynard has actually picked up some damage to the front right. I expect he's hit the inside barrier perhaps through turn 9, which has then caused him to hit the outside barrier through turn 10. Off go the mediums, on go another set of mediums. He comes out behind Khan, who's pitted from the hards and onto the mediums, so it's a great strategy from Khan. We think both have put in no fuel from the first stop and are back out onto the racetrack in 9th and 10th place. Now then, with the first of the front runners pitting, our race leaders are into the pits as well. Ritzer Velthuis leading Nathan Marriott into the pits off of the mediums. Hans will stay out for another lap. Piero dives into the pits. Ruben stays out. He's still got quite a lot of tyre life left in those mediums. What about Easton? He stays out. He follows his teammates. And Evan Dalton, our race leader on the hard compound tyres, of course, will stay out for another lap. That's crucial for our race leaders. Velthuis and Marriott exit the pit lane in clean air ahead of the runners on the hards. Dalton and Kidwell making their way through turn 2 now on the hards in 6th and 7th. Pierre's gone for the hards. This is interesting actually. Look at this. Marriott's gone for the softs. Velthuis has gone for the hards. So completely different tyre strategies from our net race leaders. One end of the tyre range that our tyre manufacturers are bringing to this Grand Prix. Race leader onto the hards, the pole sitter onto the softs. And with Hans coming into the pits, Ruben and Easton staying out for another lap. Marius is hunting down Veldhuis on those soft compound tyres, going in towards the first corner. The M6 on the back of the Supra. It's a move. He would have seen that Veldhuis has gone onto that white striped hard tyre, and he will know that he's got to put his foot down, get past the Supra and fly away into the distance, because later on in the race he's going to be on the softs, on the hard, whilst Veldhuis will be on that soft compound tyre. Marriott sliding his way through turn 4, eyeing up a move through the hairpin at turn 6. Is it going to be a run into the double left-hander of turn 7 and turn 8? It's not going to be on this occasion. Bert all over the back of the Supra, has a look for the inside in turn 9, but just lifts off. Wait, going to get a beautiful slingshot through turn 9. Already eyes up a move on the inside. They're side by side through the banking, the run through the final corner. The M6 on the inside of the Supra, a move for what we think will be the net lead of the race. As we end lap 16 to start lap 17, we've got a change of position for the podium position. Late on the brakes and down the inside goes Nathan Marriott on those soft tyres in the BMW, now up into third place, and now needs to put his foot down and fly away into the distance, because every second he doesn't pull away from Veldhuis will be seconds that he will gain back later on in the race. But with the top two in the race staying out for another lap, really extending this this hard stint, Ruben doing an incredible job in the Citroen compared to Easton on the hards. They've practically got very similar tyre life. We think if you're taking mediums past lap 17, this could be a two-stop for the top two. And so if it is going to be a two-stop, then this battle for second place is for position. Marriott trying to go round the outside, switches it to the inside. Easton leaves the door open, and that is the difference between fresh soft compound tyres and worn hard tyres. Marriott breezes his way through Easton on the inside. The Jaguar didn't defend it too hardly. Look at that, he pulls off the racing line and lets Veldhuis through. I have to say, lets Veldhuis through a little bit easier than he did myself, but nevertheless, Maurizio Veldhuis is back up into a podium position. Ruben leads this race. He has taken the mediums 18 laps, whereas everyone else who started on the mediums only lasted 13 or 14. He's extended by 4 or 5 laps. And could that be enough to take him on a two-stop? The Spaniards into the pit. Marriott will retake the lead of the race, having started from pole position, and it's the fastest lap of the race as well. A 107.8, a 108.7 for Veldhuis. He's a second a lap quicker, and he needs to continue that pace until he pits off of those softs. Evan Dalton and James Kidwell running in the top 5, 4th and 5th respectively for the pair of them. And this is where the strategy this season will be so hard to keep track of. They've both stayed out on the hard compound tyres, but now they do have track position. Pierre up into 6th place, having pitted from the hards, from the mediums onto the hards, I should say. But if he's on a 3-stop, if James Kidwell's on a 2-stop, then this is for position. Kidwell could find himself fighting for 5th place. And then you have the likes of Card and Maynard as well, who have also made a pit stop. Hans as well down in 9th place. Ruben's down in 8th onto the hard compound tyres, but they could filter back up to the front of the field by the time they make their second stop. And if these guys are two-stopping, Maynard pitted on lap 13, so he was the first of the front runners to pit from the mediums, and he could be on a 3-stop down in 10th place. That's not particularly where you want to be. But then he might end up finishing in the top 5. We'll have to wait and see. This battle between Tim and Cameron has been brewing for the last couple of laps. The Dutchman ahead of the Brit. Cameron had a great start to the season, up in 4th place, but dropped it on the first lap. He's looking to go late on the brakes, down the inside into first corner, completely opposite lock, but up into 11th place. Tim runs a little bit right wide, gives him plenty of room to do his little drift manoeuvre. But like his teammate early on in the race, where Veldhuis went round the outside opposite lock, Hill went on the inside opposite lock. And, well, the two cabbage crew drivers definitely put in style to their overtakes. Now riding in 11th place. 108.3 for Marriott, a 108.5 for Maurizio Veldhuis. He's only 2/10 slower than a driver on soft compound tyres. Admittedly quite worn soft compound tyres, but these lap times from Marriott simply aren't quick enough. He's in the 108 on a set of softs. He needs to be lapping quicker than that if he is to get the delta to Veldhuis for the third stint, sorry. Through the hairpin and under the bridge we go. Marriott leads Veldhuis, but that delta hasn't increased as much as I think the Brit would have wanted to. He can still see Maurizio Veldhuis in his rear view. He will be looking behind him over the rear wing. He can still see that Supra, and that Supra can still see him. He's going to stay out for another lap, but I fear that this soft stint hasn't gone particularly to plan. You can see the gap that the top two have built out to the cars behind. Khan's got ahead of Kidwell as we see a couple of cars diving into pit lane. By a couple, I do of course mean one. Looked like Ruben, I think, was going to follow him. Why would he? Having just pitted onto the hard compound tyres. Dalton now finds himself up into 4th place. Piero is now on the podium position. How he's filtered his way through there, I'm not too sure, but Erin will stay out for this lap on those hard tyres in the Subaru. The first time we've seen the Subaru name on the FVR grid. His teammate as well, reigning world champion, hasn't opted for the Subaru, has opted for quite the opposite car this season. That was nearly a bit of an incident between those two cars, really late on the brakes into the hairpin. But I think the Subaru will struggle at this circuit. It might excel though at the well, I'd say might, it will excel at the technical tracks like Alsace. Barcelona, I'd expect it to do well, maybe even Brands Hatch when we get there during the halfway stage of the season. Pole sitter and race leader Nathan Marriott is into the pits, as is the boss man Evan Dalton, and Adam Khan in for his third stop of the race. He's already pitted. No, second stop, sorry. He pitted from the hards onto the mediums. He's now pitting from the mediums onto, we'll have to wait and see. It's a 3-stop for Nathan Marriott. He's used the mediums, he's used the softs. His second stint is onto the mediums. So he's not going to do the final 12 laps of this race. Sorry, 22 laps of this race on the hards. He's going to split it between a medium and a hard. Interesting, so it's a 3-stop. Now we'll have to wait and see. Maurizio Veldhuis. He does know his pits, he's into the pit, so it's a 3-stop for him as well. There's no way you're taking softs 21 laps to the end. So now, is he going to go soft, or is he going to be mediums? If he goes onto the medium tyres, it's going to be a pretty interesting end to the race. They both started on mediums, they splitted and went soft and hard. They could find themselves back onto the mediums, and if they do so, it means at the end of the race they'll be back on the split, soft and the hard between them. But this time it will be tyre advantage to Veldhuis, and it's track position advantage to Maurizio Veldhuis. He's come out ahead of Nathan Marriott and has to use the faster tyre. Is this a BCR disaster class, or is it a BCR masterclass? We'll have to wait and see. But pitting and coming up behind Maurizio Valtois when he's got to use the harder compound tyres towards the end of the race. It's looking good for Maurizio Valtois. He's come out though behind Xavier Maynard and Adam Hans. He's in a bit of traffic. Look at the top two. The top two we think are two-stopping, and they're pretty close together. If these two are going to be coming out close to the one-stop and the three-stoppers, we could have a four-way fight on our hands for the lead of this race come lap 40 or 44. Our top two are on the hard compound, the top three actually on the hard compound tyres, and if they're two-stopping, well, Valtois and Marriott find themselves in 5th and 4th place. Now, I think the difference between this strategy and the last season's strategies is that you often know what tyre compound your rivals are on. It's either going to be the soft or the medium. In this scenario, you have no idea how much fuel, what tyre life your competitors are around you. So it's really important, I think, to defend and attack every position, as we are seeing Xavier Maynard do down and towards the hairpin. He's defensive to the inside at turn 7. Valtois is going to have to try and work his way around the outside, and this is really compromising the Dutchman in his pursuit for the lead of this race. He's going to try and go around the outside through turn 9, gets pulled up into the wall, contact between the two. Valtois has got damage to the front right suspension, and this is bringing back Nathan Marriott into the fight for 4th place, and to rub salt into the wounds for Maurizio Valtois, the driver that put him in the wall through the final corner, now sees himself diving into the pits, and it has brought these two bumper to bumper once again as they make their way through turn 1 for the 26th time of this 44 lap race. I'm not sure Valtois will be particularly happy about that, but now that he's got a bit of clean air, he can now hunt down the top two, who we believe are two-stopping. They started this race both on the mediums, and they've both extended onto the hards. If it is going to be a two-stop, we don't expect to see them pitting for another 10 laps. And the gap between Adam Hans and Maurizio Valtois is about 5 or 6 seconds. And so this could be a very close end to the race between these 4 drivers in particular. I think Maurizio Valtois, if the bookies were to look at this, I think he has the highest chance of winning this race. Not only is he on the faster tyre at this stage of the race, but he will also pit for the faster tyre. And Blue Moon Bay, Infield A, it is quite an easy track to overtake at, so getting past Adam Hans and Ruben will be not too much of a challenge, although they are two quick drivers, and they will make him work for it. The problem is though, you've got the likes of myself in 4th place who have to pit for the hards. Ideally, you'd want to be at the head of this train. Valtois looking for an open door on the inside at turn 7, now in towards turn 8, slips his way through on the inside. Side by side, leaving sector 2 into sector 3 and through turn 9 up into 2nd place. Adam Hans being checked up a little bit on the outside, lifts up the Ghost and concedes the position, but now he's got Nathan Marriott right behind him down the start finish straight. The problem for the M6 is that the F-Type is particularly handy in a straight line, but with a double dose of slipstream, he pulls over to the inside. They're nearly 3 wide, but late on the brakes and down the inside, and Nathan Marriott moves himself back up into a podium position. The grip on those mediums giving him the advantage he needs to move up into 3rd place, but it's not over for Adam Hans just yet. Whilst he's on the hards, he'll be going on to the softs, whereas myself will be going on to the hards to see out the end of this race. It's going to be a close finish between those two. It could be a close finish between the top two. Veldhuis continues to improve in his personal best. He's lapping quicker on the mediums than Marriott was on the softs, albeit the fuel level has now come down. And whilst we've been looking at the front runners in the midfield, positions have been changing. Khan up into 6th place ahead of Piero. Kidwell's been making moves up into 8th place as well, after he started down in 12th. Sophia Maynard and Evan Dalton are battling for 9th place, as they are both on a relatively fresh set of medium tyres. Cameron Hill's in a bit of no man's land, hunting down a spot in the top 10, but has slightly worn tyres, and he's got Kino behind him at the other end of the straight on a fresh set of mediums, and it's a Dutchman, a Dutch 12, 13, 14 towards the rear of this pack. Ruben and Maurizio now battling for the lead of the race. One's on the hards, one's on the mediums, and we've got this three-way fight for first. You can throw a blanket over these three different cars. It's the Citroen versus the Supra. The Supra's found the door open on the inside, slips his way through and up into the lead of the race. But by getting the move done early, you leave the door open for Ruben to have a second opportunity. Pulls over to the right hand side of the circuit, the outside for turn 1. But on the medium tyres, it's going to be Maurizio Veldhuis who takes the lead of the race once again here at Blue Moon Bay. Ruben will do his best to fight back, but he's got his mirrors full of bright green BMW M6 that runs a little bit wide, dips 2 wheels onto the grass, as many drivers have done so far tonight. It's crucial that Marriott doesn't get stuck behind Ruben, because this could be for position later on in the race, and you can see his rival from this evening, Veldhuis, running away with it. He's already pulled out a bit of a gap to the Citroen behind. Maurizio Veldhuis came so close to glory last season, was just narrowly beaten by Tyler Davison. Marriott gets the move done. It's deja vu for Ruben. He concedes the position like he did to Veldhuis. Marriott, though, wants to make this move stick, defends the inside line, but there's not much Ruben can do on those aging hard compound tyres. Marriott up into 2nd place. The pole sitter trying to now challenge the race leader for victory here in Blue Moon Bay with 14 laps to go here in the season opener of season 5. It's looking good for Veldhuis. Not only does he have track position, but he has the tyre advantage. When he pits off the mediums, he'll be going on to the softs. Behind Nathan Marriott will be going on to the hards. But it is worth mentioning at this stage of the race that BMW M6 has refueled. Veldhuis, Ruben, Adam, they have not put in fuel in these stints. If any, it's been a splash and dash. So the BMW has the fuel advantage. Maurizio Veldhuis has the track position advantage. Ruben and Adam have the tyre advantage. We'll have to wait and see how this unfolds. It's a great team performance from Easton and Hans, running in 4th and 5th place. I think they are scoring the most points from this race as a team. We've got reserve driver Khan in 6th place, Piero and Ruben in 3rd and 7th place, Marriott and Kidwell in 2nd and 8th. And so we've got a similar situation to what we saw last season, and it's almost ended up being similar to how the F1 series worked, where we have split 1, split 2 drivers paired up, and the team's championship, or the constructors I should say, always ends up being really close in the F1 series. We've got a similar situation here where we have one driver from each team inside the top 5, and the other driver battling in the bottom half of the top 10, distributing the points between the team. We've got Adam and Easton though batting for 4th place. Lap 33 of 44, and it's Maurizio Valtois, car number 13, that is leading here at Blue Moon Bay Speedway Infield Day, the longest track name on the calendar, the shortest track that we go to this season. The longest being the Circuit de la Sarthe, the season finale. So we start with the shortest, end at the longest, Le Mans. If you were to go by the name of Le Mans, then we go to the shortest track with the longest name and the longest track with the shortest name. We do like to put every different type of track on the calendar. This season, I think I've had a lot of positive reaction, in fact, from the drivers about the calendar and about the new tyre regulations. If you have been a little bit confused why so many drivers have been pitting so many times, new for this season, the tyre wear has been bumped up to 2 times 5. Oh, we got a spinner! We've got a spinner. It's Evan Dalton in the Subaru. He span off camera, so we will save him the embarrassment of how he done it, but he has dropped it on the exit of turn 6, and the hairpin under the bridge, and that has cost him 9 seconds through the middle sector in his battle with Xavier Maynard. And so the tyre strategies and the tyre regulations. The drivers must use all 3 mandatory tyres, the soft, the mediums and the hards. The tyre wear is designed to allow a split between a 2-stop or a 3-stop. Of course, soft tyres don't particularly last very long. They only lasted about 10-15 minutes here tonight. These races end up being 50 minutes long, and so as a driver you have to think to yourself, do I want to go long on the mediums and the hard compound tyres? Can I save that time in the pits, or do I go for a dash attack and go for a double set of softs, a double set of mediums, 3-stop it and fight your way through the field? So far the 3-stop is 1 and 2 in this race. The 2-stoppers are 3 and 4 and 5 actually. The 2 teammates, the 2 Jets, are battling for 4th place down towards turn 1. Adam Hans defending from Shea Easton on the inside. Easton's going to try and set himself up for a slingshot on the exit of turn 1. Now in towards turn 2, the 2 Brits side by side. Easton on the inside, but Hans will swoop it around the outside and keep track position. These 2 on their very worn tyres. Hans on the hards, Easton on the mediums. I think they'll be splitting the strategy at the end, or I think that both have gone to softs. No, I think one started on the hards, one started on the mediums. Now one's on the hards, one's on the mediums, and they will both finish on the soft compound tyres to attack our top 3. Ruben will be into the pits in the next couple of laps, as will these 2 for the softs, but they remain side by side, battling for 4th place. This time it's Easton on the inside, and he slips his way through up into 4th place. Hans drops down into 5th on the medium compound tyres. Easton accelerating through the field. Are they going to pit? No, they're just defending from one another. It's a brilliant battle between the 2 Jaguars, and hopefully we see more of this throughout the season, but I think the tyre wear has just hit Adam Hans a little bit too much on lap 36. At this stage of the Grand Prix, both I think we expect to see into the pits at the end of this lap, but look at the gap they've got to find to the race leaders. Nathan Marriott though will be pitting onto the hards for the end of this race. The 4 cars around him will be going on to the softs, so he's got a lot of hard work to do on that hard compound tyre. Remember, he didn't do a good enough job on those soft compound tyres. He wasn't really pulling away from Maurizio Valtois when he was on the hard compound tyres. So now the tables will be turning for the end of this race, and I expect to see lots of on-track position changes at this stage of the race. Marriott is into the pits. The mechanics in pink exits over the barrier into the pit lane to be ready to service that BMW. The 3 cars behind him are into the pits, and whilst Marriott has a lot more fuel than most of them, he's going to be on the hards. Look at everyone about to exit the pit. It's the white striped hards for Marriott, and it's going to be what we expect to see for these 3 drivers. The tyres come off, the new ones come on. It's actually mediums. No, sorry, it is softs for Chubbs, it's softs for Ruben, it's going to be softs for Adam Hans, and crucially for those three drivers, they exit the pits in clean air. Xavier Maynard looking to try and get past Cameron Hill towards the latter stages of this race. I think the two of them are both looking to pit one more time in this race. Crucially for Nathan Marriott, he's come out ahead of his teammate James Kidwell and in clean air. He will be hoping that these three cars behind him aren't going to make a pit stop anytime soon, and hopefully they can hold up the cars in front. Khan is into the pits. Piero's picked up damage. I'm surprised he didn't actually come into the pits and change those tyres. Maybe he needs to hit a certain lap before he can take the shot to the end. But if he could have pitted and gone to the end, he would have saved not going down the start-finish straight with damage. Marriott now up into third place. Dyson 14th is a lap down, but ahead of Easton and Ruben in 5th and 6th place. Adam Hans in 7th. This could be a very close finish to this Grand Prix. Maurizio Valtois is still out in the lead. But will the end of lap 38 be enough to take the softs to the end? It is. It is. The race leader. He's into the pits at the end of lap 38 with no fuel and life left in his tyres. It's going to be a crucial pit stop for the Toyota team. The Cabbage crew are ready. The mechanics poised, ready to change those tyres for one final time in the American Grand Prix. The Supra is in. The old tyres come off. The new tyres go on. The fuel going into the back of the Toyota Supra. Where's Nathan Marriott? He's coming down the start-finish straight. The Supra's been released. Is it ahead or is it behind? Valtois is ahead. He exits the pit lane in the lead of the race and on the soft compound tyres. A disaster for Nathan Marriott, who can look out the back of that Toyota Supra knowing that that car is just going to blitz off into the distance, and unless there is any drama in the final 5 laps of this race here at Blue Moon, it's looking likely that Maurizio Valtois is going to take victory here in the season opener of the FVR GT7 Championship. Marriott running wide, a frustration kicking in perhaps as he sees his race rival from tonight leave the pit lane ahead of that BMW M6. That's one problem ticked off. Problem 2 is the cars behind that will be gaining and gaining. Purple through sector 2 for Shea Easton. His teammate Adam Hans has the new fastest lap of the race, a 107.5. A fastest lap point could be crucial to crowning our world champion at the end of the season at Le Mans, and it is the fastest lap of the race for Shea Easton in 3rd. He is absolutely rapid out on the racetrack. It's a 107.0, and that is pretty much bang on the same time that gave Nathan Marriott pole position for this Grand Prix. Only his 2nd FVR GT pole, his first coming at Grand Valley in season 2. Our top 3 have all won a race in the FVR GT. Valtois won his first this time last season at the season opener of Dragon Trail Gardens. Marriott won his at Grand Valley, and Captain Chubb Shea Easton won his in Saint-Croix for round 2. The following race after Valtois won his. And whilst we start for lap 41 to 44 with 4 laps to go, Valtois has only won one Grand Prix before this one, despite being in a title challenge last season with Tyler Davison. That just goes to show his consistency through season 4. Marriott as well, he's only won once before, as has Shea Easton. The top 3 have only won one Grand Prix, and unless something dramatic happens, one of them will be doubling their total from this evening. It's looking more likely to be some than others. Under the bridge they go for the 41st time tonight. a 1:08.5 for Nathan Marriott, a 1:07.6 for Shay Easton. They are lapping 1 second a lap quicker than Marriott on the hards, and that is the tyre delta that Marriott couldn't find when they pitted for the first time this evening. The top 6 pitted from the mediums. All of them went onto the hards or the mediums. Nathan Marriott went on to the softs. And so whilst most of the grid will finish this race on the softs, some find themselves on the hards. We've got this battle for 9th place between Cameron Hill and James Kidwell. That contribution in the chat making a very good point. I did win at Spa, so I do have 2 wins. So correction, 2 of the top 3 have only won once, and one of them will double their wins total from will double their wins this evening. Completely forgot about that win at Spa. Didn't get pole position there. That was awarded to Tyler Davison, I believe, on that occasion. And that was, of course, a sprint race weekend. We're back down to this battle for 8th place. It's 3 Brits, Xavier Maynard, Cameron Hill, James Kidwell, battling for 8th place. You can see on the minimap the kind of packs of cars that have formed our race leader. Maurizio Beltois starting the final penultimate lap of the race in the lead, and you can see those 3 arrows making their way down the start finish straight. That is Nathan Marriott, Shay Easton and Ruben making their way down into turn 1, getting closer and closer as this race goes on. The drivers behind them running their own race as it stands. The cameraman unfortunately hasn't recovered from the start of the race at the apex of turn 4. We pick up the leaders now through turn 5. This could be a last lap showdown. It's not going to be the first time that we've seen a last lap move for the lead of the race or to the side of the podium positions. Oh, we got a spinner at the back. Who is that? I think it might be Cameron Hill. Was there contact between him and Xavier Maynard? We're going to have to ride on board because unfortunately our cameraman has perished. No, it wasn't those 2, but these 2 are still going to go side by side. It was Weiss, I think, running in 14th place. That's how Cameron got past Xavier Maynard for 8th place. We're on board with the Lexus, and he's got a mirror full of BCR Mercedes to deal with as well. But our race leader starts the final lap of the race in the lead. Nathan Marriott weaves, he defends the inside, starting the final lap of the race in 2nd place. They nearly touch, they're side by side, door to door, but Nathan Marriott has the inside going in towards the first corner. Shay Easton will try and swoop it right round the outside on the final lap of the race through turn 1, using the grip on those fresh soft compound tyres to try and get past the BMW M6. The BMW though keeping it tight to the inside, but Easton swoops round the outside and that's the inside for turn 4. Is it over for Nathan Marriott? Can he hold on to 3rd place? Can he send it on the last lap of the race? He doesn't. In under the bridge into the hairpin down at turn 6. It's a brilliant last lap move for Shay Easton to see him step 1 place higher on the podium. But rounding the final corner for the final time, Maurizio Beltois weaves in celebration. He starts season 5 like he started season 4. He wins at Blue Moon Bay, Infield A, and takes home the 22 points with it. Shay Easton with a last lap move into turn 1 will finish in 2nd ahead of Nathan Marriott in 3rd, Ruben in 4th, and there's a last lap battle for the final points paying position. James Kidwell on the inside as Xavier Maynard moves up into 9th place. The 2 former teammates battling it out on the racetrack, but ahead of them Adam Hans finishing in 5th place, Khan in 6th, Piero in 7th, Cameron Hill with a good recovery after his spin in 8th. Kidwell finishes in 9th ahead of his former teammate Xavier Maynard in the top 10, and just missing out on points is Evan Dalton in 11th, Kino in 12th place, and Tim in 13th, with Nice in 14th, just missing out on that top 13 spot. We did lose a driver and all that. Keane retired from the race. But that was a brilliant race from, brilliant race from Maurizio Veldhuis. Started second, moved his way up into first place. He absolutely nailed the strategy, set the lap times when he needed to, made the moves when he needed to, and crucially had the pace to do it on the 3-stop. 2 different tyre strategies into the top 4. It was a 1-3 for the 3-stoppers. It's a 2-4 for the 2-stoppers. So expect to see something similar like this for the rest of the season. Of course, we've got 9 races this season for season 5, and 2 of them are double headers. So we've got 7 races where we will see this 2 versus 3 stop tyre strategy, and the other 2 races we are treated to 2 races per round. So that is all worth looking forward to. Brilliant drive from Jay Easton from 14th to 2nd, my personal driver of the day. Made up 12 places, Adam Hans as well. Brilliant race from him from 8th up to 5th. Cameron Hill making up places after his spin on the opening lap, and that midfield completely shaking it up. You might as well put them all in a hat, give them the hat a bit of a shake and pulled them out one by one, because there was no way of predicting where any of the drivers were finishing tonight. But this man, Maurizio Veldhuis, was narrowly beaten to the Season 4 championship by Tyler Davison. He won the first race of Season 4. He wins the first race of Season 5. Can he continue this hot form throughout the rest of the season? Tyler wasn't here tonight. Great points gained on him. We'll have to wait and see how they feature next time out in... Where are we next time? Alsace Village. We have actually done Alsace by the time this stream is being recorded, so I do know the result from that one. But, of course, no spoilers ahead. We'd like to get a post-race photo of our race winner. And there it is. Maurizio Veldhuis wins in the Toyota Supra. Toyota's first win, I believe. That's probably completely wrong. But anyway, I've been Nathan. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Stay tuned next week where we go from America to France for Alsace Village for that technical little circuit. It will be another track making its FVR debut. If you heard that, that is a plane flying overhead to pick me up. Already making my move to Alsace. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.